Loads of batteries until one of these goes out. It's a classic Ryan move, one of the lights going out.
Yeah, it's sabotage. Loves the drama.
Disgraceful. Just can't get the stuff these
Like
days.
that shirt on you.
Oh, fucking hell, Ryan. It's always his fault. Good afternoon, guys. Welcome back to another Q&A, and Paddy is back
Finally.
in the hot seat after a bout of illness. You feeling better?
Mostly. You can still hear it, but mostly, yeah.
Okay, right. Well, we're going to crack on anyway with all of your questions that you left for us. So,
I'm up first,
you were going to start, actually,
yeah,
yes.
Why not? Straight back in. So, Jatin Jaiswal has asked, Ole has been appointed Man United's permanent manager, of course. Fresh news. That's why we're starting with this one. Who do you think he needs to make the side better and challenging for the titles?
Oh, boy. I think the midfield area.
Really?
Would be the main area to improve. In attack, I think they're brilliant. As long as they can hold on to Rashford.
We can agree on that, yeah.
Martial, Lingard, Lukaku, yeah, that's all fine. Luke Shaw looks brilliant. Defensively, yes, they can improve.
Probably a central defender. We've talked about that before here,
Yeah,
actually.
a central defender, but I feel like in the middle, Ander Herrera's contract is expiring, and
Looks
for all
like
intents and
he's off.
purposes, it looks like he's not continuing. Matic is 30, 31,
Yeah, fair
really
point.
looking past it. Pogba's a brilliant player, nothing wrong with him. Fred has been underwhelming, to say the least, in his first season.
Yeah.
So I think, of all the positions, central midfield.
Any names jump out for you?
As for those names,
give us one.
Ruben Neves.
Okay, yeah.
I think
good call.
Really fantastic
Good number
player.
6. Good number 6, exactly. Yep.
I'd put him on the list. Right, so next up is, from HD316. Said, is Luca Hernandez overpriced? He's a good defender, but he lacks offensive qualities. Should he be playing at left back?
There's a few questions in there. First of all, he is obviously, depending on who you believe, is the most expensive defender of all time, eclipsing Van Dijk, depending on where the clauses come in and out and all this sort of stuff.
True.
It's a hell of a lot of money either way. I think it probably is a bit overpriced. I watched Hernandez quite a bit actually at the World Cup, and I thought he's a very good player, but deployed mostly at left back there. It's quite interesting that Bayern are getting 2 players from that team actually, with Pavard coming in, of course. Both of them played out of position at fullback in that tournament. But I do think he's a good defender. I don't think he's an offensive type player. So you're right here, HD 316. And I actually think he'll be playing central for Bayern. I think they've bought him as a central defender.
So him and Pavard both central, you reckon?
Well, I think we can say that Sula is going to be the key there, and then you would have to say that some of the other guys may go. When you look at Hummels, when you look at Boateng, even Martinez, I don't think all 3 of them will be at Bayern next season.
Maybe I think that's the key though. Maybe the versatility is the key to both of them. Being able to play.
Possibly. But that being said, I mean, Bayern have still got Alaba. They have a problem at right back for sure, but Alaba is still a fantastic player.
Yeah, true.
And I don't see them getting rid of him just because they've got Hernandez now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, I'm next to you.
Next one on. Amber Reyes. Why does Messi fail to have, good question, why does Messi fail to have the impact at international level like he has at Barcelona?
Wow. It's so complex. I think it would boil down to, and it's not taking anything away from Messi, but the fact that at Barcelona everything's tailored to him.
Yeah.
I read something to do with the fact that Messi staying at Barcelona is all of his powers. Again, not like insulting his individual brilliance, because he's unbelievable, in my eyes, the best to ever play the game. But it has to be said that when you're such a star player and everything works to your effect, it helps massively.
You made a good point there. Barcelona's tailored to him, but he is also tailored to Barcelona.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and then you go away, there's players that he's perhaps played with to a certain extent before, but not to the depth that he has with the crux of the Barca squad. It's a completely different style of football. He can't do it all by himself there.
Yeah, he can't do it all by himself, and I think there was a really interesting quote that Messi himself said about Paulo Dybala joining Barcelona, where he said, we're quite similar, we can't play together.
Yeah, fair call. Yeah.
And that's the exact reason that Dybala played, how many minutes at the World Cup last season?
Yeah, very few.
I think he played like 17 minutes or something.
Yeah.
So him and Messi can't play together, and then can the rest of the team in Argentina play together with so many forwards?
He's never really played with Icardi either. You know, he's been on the outskirts, so it's a tough one.
I think there's almost too many Messis in Argentina level. Too many similar
players.
Many
Messis. Well, there's Messi and there's too many similar players under that.
There's too many followers,
There's only one.
There's only one Lionel. Right, me next from Sayandeep Banik. Always giving some great questions into the show.
Excellent.
Great call. He has said, how is racism still a prevalent issue when most teams have to rely on on players who aren't white, e.g. France, Italy, France, England, even Italy shouldn't football be free of such discrimination?
I mean, we talk about a lot of maybes and, who's going where here. And actually, a lot of the time it's a lot of fun. But I think this is probably one of the more serious questions I've ever had. And it's a good question to ask.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pure and simple. Basically, it shouldn't be a part of the game.
Yeah.
The people who do embrace this sort of lifestyle are basically using football as the platform for their ignorance, and I don't see how that, there is no place for this.
Yeah, absolutely not.
And I also believe that UEFA could do a lot more in taking these individuals out of the game and setting a lesson and setting a tone for people, or for the rest of everyone else. And it is always, it's not always, but it's generally speaking a minority.
Yeah.
They are the ones who ruin it for everybody else, but they have no place whatsoever in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like it's not just England, France, or Italy your players rely on. It doesn't matter who you're relying on, whichever team, whoever's in your team, anything.
Correct.
Just completely not acceptable.
Yeah.
Society as well. We're not just talking about football here, just all
exactly.
across the board. But thanks for bringing it up, though.
Yeah, great
To
question.
get across.
So first, and it's our first rapid fire of the day. So Nadendla Avinash. Haven't really butchered that as much as I thought I might. So rapid fire for Matt. In terms of Barcelona signings, Griezmann or Jovic?
Jovic. Well, as in what's more likely?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, we'll go. Yeah, Jovic.
Yeah, okay. Who is better as Argentina striker, Icardi or Aguero?
Aguero.
Yep. Copa America or the Euros?
Ooh, well, that's a good call. I'd say Euros because obviously being an England fan, but the Copa America has got some exciting teams and players in it.
And I think we might actually find, if the big teams stay in, of course, the end of that tournament to be a little bit more interesting than we did the last Euros, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I'm all for an underdog, but the standard of football in the last Euros wasn't memorable for the right reasons.
Summed it up so much.
Okay, keep going because it's quick fire. We're back to, Suarez or Aguero?
For me, oh boy, Aguero, just though.
Yeah.
Only just.
That's a tough one. Sané or Dembele?
I prefer Sané.
Yep. Okay. Iniesta or David Silva? I guess at their peak.
Oh, at their peak. Iniesta. Again, only just though.
And
Silva.
Marcelo or Jordi Alba?
Oh, Marcelo.
Okay, cool.
I love Marcelo's cavalier attitude to defending. Like, no, I don't need
To
to
everything,
do it.
to be honest, to life.
But that's
He's such
true.
the most anti-Cristiano Ronaldo of all time, at least, the way he sort of, communicates and all this sort of stuff, and yet they're best mates. Chalk and cheese.
Yeah.
Opposites attract.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Me and you are friends. So
Are we?
It's fine. We just co-host a show off camera.
We're work friends.
Oh, yeah. Next up from Nile D, who has said, is Memphis Depay going to be a hot player in transfers this summer after a great performance in the Euros, in the qualifiers?
I think you probably agree with me on this. Depay is absolutely a talented player, but definitely did not make the most of his opportunity at Manchester United.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think there was a lot of stories, and you don't know always what to believe, of course, but there was a lot of stories about the importance he placed on his lifestyle, his cars, and all this sort of stuff, particularly when he wasn't playing good football, and yet still putting himself in the public eye. Now, I think if he's matured, then I think there's absolutely a place for Memphis Depay at a bigger club than Lyon.
Yeah.
He's already talked about the fact that he wants to go. Let's see. I don't think it's even based on these Euro qualifiers. He's had a very good season for Lyon,
all round,
and it's good to see him playing some fantastic football because he's a fantastic player. And if that continues, I absolutely think it'll be a topic this transfer window.
Yeah, for sure. It's like with Balotelli. You can't deny he's super talented, but you just got to get his head right.
Yeah,
and you've got a hell of a player. On to the next one. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're going. Yeah.
From Netesh Raja, who said, do you think Jurgen Klopp forgot about Keita and thinks he's bad?
Certainly didn't forget about him.
He probably sees him every day.
He turns up to work and literally Naby Keita is there. But I think it's clear that Naby Keita has not lived up to the expectations of what he had when he arrived at Liverpool. Then again, I mean, I think people are always very quick to make, knee-jerk reactions about players in their first seasons. And we've seen it before. I think there's been a few Spurs players, Sissoko, for example, who was god-awful in the first season and now is one of your more important players. So I think there's still room and time for Naby Keita to prove himself because we saw how good he was at Leipzig. But the report is that he might actually want to go back to the Bundesliga. I think that Liverpool should hang on to him. They spent a lot of money on him, put some more time in. I'm sure that he will be a focal point in that midfield if they do actually give him some patience.
I just think, because I haven't seen much of him this season, I think many Liverpool fans have. You watch a bit more Bundesliga than me. What was he supposed to bring?
So he's very dynamic. He takes the ball from deep and brings it forward. His passing is solid enough, but he certainly can break lines through his movement and his skill on the ball.
So who's doing it better at Liverpool? Who would he have replaced?
I think it probably would have been almost a mix between a Henderson and a Lallana, if that makes sense. I think the plan was for him to anchor the midfield, probably next to Fabinho, to be honest, because he's far more attacking than Fabinho. And still on paper, it sounds like a dream duo, but he just hasn't. He hasn't put it together. And I think, but he still, I believe, is a very much a far better longer term prospect than keeping Henderson or Lallana in that midfield.
Yeah, true. And as you said, they spent a fair whack of money, so.
Yeah. So this is going to be a mouthful for me. You guys know that I struggle with this. Niha Kandachandani. That was a bit slow, but it was all right.
We got that. Sound it out.
Let me know. Sound it out, exactly. Back when I was 10. Can Real Madrid finish their La Liga campaign in second place, as Zidane has now returned, and Atletico are out of form? Didn't need to read this out, but it's still in the comment. Love you, Matt, and love Onefootball.
That's very much appreciated.
Stick to the question, Will.
Okay. Yeah. Sort of basking in the praise.
Yeah.
Yes, I actually see a massive turnaround. Now that Zidane's back, I think they can definitely turn their form around. As you said, Atletico. The thing is, for both of them, there's not much to play for.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both out of Copa del Rey. Yeah, they are.
Yep.
They're both out of Copa del Rey. They're both out of the Champions League, and at the moment they're not catching Barcelona. So I literally think between them two, it's a personal little battle for second. I'd back Real Madrid with Zidane over.
There's no pressure on Zidane, of course, to guide them there either.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about next season.
It's a real dead rubber for like 10 games.
It really is. Yeah.
Right, next up from Nino Petroci, who has said, quick fire.
Great.
Here we go. Mane or Sterling?
Oh, that's really tough. Yeah, that's really tough. Sterling was amazing for England, and Mane, just Mane. I think just Mane. Sorry about that, everybody else.
Hudson-Odoi or Serge Gnabry?
I think Hudson-Odoi is going to be the better one. Serge Gnabry, I'm a big fan of, especially given he, didn't have an easy time of it always at Arsenal or even West Brom as well. But I think Hudson-Odoi is slightly.
I saw that they sold him for $5 million.
What's that? Yeah, it's crazy.
That is
starter for Germany now. Who thought?
That's looking bad business. Memphis Depay or Ousmane Dembele?
Dembele still.
Go with that.
But battle of the problem children. Yeah.
Neymar or Mbappe?
It's hard to beat Neymar, isn't it? Yeah. I would hope that one day Mbappe is good enough to challenge Neymar for Ballon d'Or, but
Neymar's more talented.
To be honest, when Messi and Ronaldo fade away at this rate, Neymar's going to be head and shoulders above the rest.
Unbelievable. I don't like how people sleep on him because he dives. I'm not saying diving's right, it's wrong. But Neymar's incredibly talented.
There's a lot of things you are okay not to like about Neymar, I think. But one thing you cannot debate is his football ability.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, from Bakul Sharma. Who will win the Ballon d'Or? Oh, there we go. Ooh. After the Messi or Ronaldo era, so for the next 10 years, basically, who's going to be the successor for Messi and Ronaldo after?
Well, we've just mentioned Neymar. Yep. However, he's 27, so maybe he's got a few years left. But for me, it has to be Mbappe.
Yeah.
I think, as well, someone actually brought it up. It might have been in last week's video a few weeks ago, saying how the Ballon d'Or is always favouring midfielders and forwards because they grab the headlines. It's unfortunate that's the way it is.
It does suck, doesn't it?
The amount of goals and important goals that I can see Mbappe scoring in the right competitions at the right end of the league in the international competitions, it's going to be so difficult to look past goals. Yep. I'm not saying another player can't be as good.
Fair enough.
But stats are always going to pad out his case a little bit more. Right, next.
I got to blow my nose.
We're back on.
So, of course, there had to be a Spurs question at some point for Matt. Right, Cordell, on a scale of 1 to 10, rate Tottenham's new stadium.
10. Now, I knew.
You're such a fanboy, aren't you?
I knew we'd bring this up, and we mentioned it in the Daily the other day. Yeah. This is from just a complete outsider's look. Let's say I'm not a Spurs fan.
Yeah.
What's bad about it?
Don't get me wrong.
But there's, I understand if you're an opposing fan, you're an Arsenal, Chelsea, United. Yeah, you hate Spurs Stadium, whatever.
Yeah, of course.
As a general sports fan, a 62,000 seat stadium, the second biggest club stadium in England, that is super close to the pitch, to the stand. A single tier stand that rivals the Kop, not in atmosphere, but in terms of capacity. Obviously, the Kop's way better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
you can't dislike it.
Two things. It did go overpriced, of course.
Yeah, that's nothing to do with Arsenal or Chelsea
No,
fans.
but I think you said there's one. What's wrong with it? It did go overpriced. I'm just nitpicking here, by the way.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
The second is that there's arguably too many Spurs fans going to be in there at any point. So yeah, you don't want too many in one position.
I saw people on Twitter actually like that, like, yeah, it's late and it costs too much. I'm like, you're not paying for it and you're not waiting for it.
True,
So what's it got to do with you?
Yeah. No, it's got to be a good thing in the long run anyway. Yeah.
Very bizarre.
Yeah. Okay. From Joe Sports, what do you think of Unai Emery's job so far in Arsenal? Is he underperforming or overperforming?
Unai Emery. I think he's doing a really good job. Actually, I feel, again, we've spoken about this maybe in a video a few weeks ago, where it is so difficult to replace a legend and a long-standing manager.
Yeah.
It is, I mean, look at what Moyes did after Ferguson left.
Not just Moyes, but also Van Gaal as well.
Van Gaal as well. You can't just switch over. You can't recreate what Wenger did in 22, 23 years in just, I mean, he's 8 months.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's done a very good job so far, and considering that the job has always been get back into the top four, and they're in the hunt for the top four.
Yep.
So
and they're stable. You know, some of the players who struggled, despite big price tags in the last couple of years, have come to actually find their place there. I think he's done a very reasonable job.
I think he's a good job, and this summer will be interesting.
Yep.
Because as he starts to develop the team around himself more, he's decided to let Ramsey go. You know, he makes his decision about Aubameyang or Lacazette. He's decided to kind of, I don't know what the word is with Ozil, let him know that he's not bigger than the club. He's making big decisions.
Yeah,
so
agreed. Yeah.
This will be interesting.
I like it a lot.
We're going to finish on some yes or no questions sent in from Sonu Kumar. Right, Rashford to Barcelona.
No.
Dybala to Liverpool.
No.
You're just a negative Nelly today, aren't you?
Sorry about that. Yeah.
Marcelo to leave Real Madrid.
Yes.
Hey,
there you go.
I agree with that one.
Easy one, though.
Mbappe to leave Paris.
Possibly. Can I say possibly? I would say.
I said yes or no, but
yes.
Yes?
There's
And last one.
There's an Zidane factor.
Last one, quite relevant to last week's show if you haven't seen it, is Paddy hot?
Oh, you're asking me that?
Yeah. It says let Paddy answer this.
Yeah, no, I definitely am not. Yeah, I think.
Don't put yourself down, man.
No, I think my mum and my fiance find me somewhat attractive and charming, but that's where it about ends.
They have to.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all you need in life.
There's a lot of filters on this camera, so it gets a lot worse in reality.
You need a few good people around you, and that's it.
Exactly. That's why I keep him around, actually. Yeah.
That's all from us, though, for this week. So thanks very much, Paddy, for coming back and being a lot better. Thank you guys for sending in all of your questions every single week. Of course, we'll be back with the Q&As every single Friday. So look out for our community post where you can leave all of your questions. But until next time, from us guys, we'll see you later.